Today, the purpose of this presentation is to inform my audience here how to set up a surveying instrument and its purpose. A famous quote by General George S. Patton says, "Don't give me instructions so I can get them right. Give me instructions so I can't get them wrong." And that, my friends, is what I intend to do today. So all of you seen these tripods set up on the side of the road, passing by on the highway, or maybe even in your own yard, and you're wondering, what's that guy doing, or what's he looking at? You know, what's this thing doing? A funny few questions I often get asked when I have the total station set up on here is, take my picture. Like I have a News 5 van behind me or something, like I'm here to film a crime scene. Or another good question I get asked, let me look through there. What are you looking at? What do you see? Like you're going to see the moon. I mean, literally, it's a crosshairs, like a scope of a rifle that you might see. And that's basically all you see is just black crosshairs inside of a scope. You can magnify it up to a mile away and bring it closer to you up to 3 or 4 or 5 feet. So, in surveying, we call this the thing we set up on here, the gray, orange-looking box that you see up there with the scope and all the little buttons. It's actually called a total station. A total station is an electronic optical instrument used in modern surveying, and it's integrated with an electronic distance meter that's used to measure distance to a point, elevations, and you can turn angles with it. So today, I've been basically using this a total station nearly every day for the last 15 years. And today I'm going to show you a quick 10-step process, how to set up a total station on a tripod over a known point. Some of these known points that we usually use, if you go out in your property and you look around, you might see a cap that looks similar to this, and it'll have a number on it, which is a surveying registration number for a state of Ohio, Kentucky, wherever you live. It'll be set on top of a 5/8 inch rebar, 30 inches in the ground, set at your property corners. If you have 4 corners, you might go out there and kick around. You might find 4 corners. You'll see one of these plastic caps. Older surveys, they use lots of other things, but this is generally what you'll see in modern day from the 90s on. Another thing that we might use is a PK nail. Simply a nail, it's got a point on it, or a mag nail. And I'll pass these around so you guys can take a look at this. So, now, the first step we're going to use today, one of these caps, I'm just going to set it on the ground here. And my object is to get this tripod set up with a total station on it directly over that point. So step 1, you're going to take your legs, right? You're going to set it up generally over the point. You don't want it leaning a certain way. It just makes it way difficult. The ultimate goal at the end of the day is to get this a level flat plane over that level flat plane down there with your instrument on it, directly pointing down right over the point. So now you're set up on it. So when you're out in the field, and we might be set up on grass, concrete. Today I'm on carpet, which is not the greatest thing, but say I'm on grass, you want to step your leg down and plant it down and really step on it, put all your weight on it. You can even stand on it and make sure you get one leg set really good. And then you just want to take the other 2 and work them around until you're generally over the point and somewhat level. Okay, so once that step is completed, you will, the second step is to take your total station. Very expensive piece of machine. You want to be careful. Keep 2 hands on it all the time as you're moving. On here, there's a bolt with some threads on it. The bottom of this has a hole. You will set this up on here. Don't ever take your hands off it like that. You don't want to go, once again, keep your hands on it at all times. I usually just hold it like this. You'll take the bolt, you screw it into the bottom, and go until it's snug. You don't have to wrench it down. Just make sure it's snug on there. The instrument's not going anywhere. It's all one setup now. It's one piece of equipment. So once you do that, there's an optical plummet on here. What this is, it actually has a circular black lines, threaded lines in there. You'll look through this. It basically does like a 90-degree down directly over your point. So what you want to do here, you want to look through this, okay? And if you can't see your point right away, a rule of thumb that we usually use, we'll put our leg right up close to it, our foot over the point that we're trying to set up on, and get your foot up close to it. So you can always start out by looking at your leg. Now, you know where your leg is, you know it's in front of it, so you just slide it out ever so slightly, and you get it really close on your point. And again, see how it's nice and level. You don't want it like this. It can be over your point, but then you got a lot more steps to go. So the closer you can get it to this right here, level, over your point, that's a good way to be. Next step, once we got it here, we already have this leg stepped in. We're going to step down these other two, get them nice and firm in the ground, put all your weight on it. Okay. Once you go there, there's a level bubble here on the side. You want to work one leg at a time, gently raise it up, lower it up, whatever you need to do to try to get that level bubble centered in the bubble center. Again, working one at a time. Don't try to do two, or don't let one of the class off, because then you might drop your instrument. Again, expensive piece of machine, you don't want to do that. So now we have it close. The step I like to do, some guys don't do it, but it makes things a lot easier. Go ahead and turn these 3 screws here. If you turn them either all in or all out together, and you can get it really close to your point. You want to do this looking through your optical plummet, and you just want to fine tune it and kind of center it. Once you get to there, check your leg again, and my bubble is actually slid off, so I'm going to just go ahead and lower this again a little bit, get it centered back up. Once you get to there, there's a plate level. Looks similar to a 2-foot level you might use at the house, or a 4-foot level to hang a picture on. There's a level bubble just like that. You want to center this on a side with 2 of the screws, and we use a thumb in, thumb out method to just turn this in or out, get it really close, your bubble in the center. Then you want to turn it 90 degrees, and you just simply turn this other one all by itself, and you get it level. Now it's level, it's probably not on your point. So you look back through your optical plummet, you loosen this up, not enough all the way down or anything like that, just enough to be able to slide the instrument freely. You slide it back over your point, lock it back down, turn it back to the side, turn your 2 screws together, thumbs in or out, level your bubble back up, turn it 90 degrees again, gently adjust this one, look back through your optical plummet, we're over the center of the point, we're now level. So, what do we do now? It's all level, it's on a point. You guys have no idea what that means, maybe? Generally, we have a known coordinate value of this point here. A northing, easting, elevation, if we're shooting elevations. And you'll see those guys with the rods, and they have a reflective prism. This thing will shoot a distance to that reflective prism. It reflects back and actually gives you a distance measurement. So if you have another known point, which you need 2 to do anything, you'll send a guy out there, he'll set with the rod, hold it level, you'll sight him with your crosshairs, lock it down with these screws here. You can fine tune it with the outer one. This locks it in so you can't turn it. When you let it go, you can turn it freely. You want to lock it down, sight him, lock this one in, fine tune this up and down, get centered on him, and you hit zeros, you set zeros on him. Now, every angle you turn to the right is going to be 90, 180, 360 all the way around as you're shooting angles. Say you want to set up 4 building corners of a house. You have your guy over here, you set zeros on him. This thing will actually calculate the angle you need to turn out to the 4 building corners and give you the distance that you need to shoot. So you'll just simply set your zeros, turn the angles that it tells you to turn to the building corner, shoot a distance at him. He either has to come into you or go away on that line. Once you get close, a couple shots, you put a point in the ground, that's where that building corner goes, you go on to the next one. So, in conclusion, today I showed you one of the most important parts of the surveying process, using a total station. I explained the equipment, the total station itself, tripod, and some of the points that you might set up on. I showed you how to correctly set it up over that known point, and I explained what you do with the instrument now that you have it set up on this point. So now that each and every one of you can set this up correctly, I'll be recruiting assistants when I start my surveying business next year. So I know you'll all be ready to help me out when I'm ready to go. Thank you.